welcome to the very first episode of the Elevated Flo Podcast. I am your host, Coach Flo. So, I want to just tell you what this podcast is going to be about. I am going to be speaking with women 40 and over who are elite and everyday athletes about how they elevate their flow in sports, wellness, and in life in general. So I just want to give you a definition of what flow is, since that's the name of the podcast, and I will be referring to the flow state very often. Flow state is that sweet spot where you are completely immersed in what you're doing, distractions seem to fade away, time seems to fly, and a lot of times in sports, it's referred to as being in the zone. But everyday people can experience it when skill and challenge meet at the right balance. And even though you're working hard, it feels effortless. So that is the flow state. And so I'm going to be talking to women 40 and over and talking about them sharing stories about their lives to inspire you as women to elevate the flow in your own life. So I hope that you will join me every week. The podcast will drop on Thursdays by 5 p.m. And so I will also have some solo podcasts where I'm talking about the flow state and talking about all things fitness, rowing, wellness, nutrition education, and just holistic wellness. So, like I said, I hope that you will join me each week on Thursday to find out more about how you can elevate your flow in your life. Now, if you're anything like a lot of the women that I speak to, you're probably wondering, well, how do I stay motivated after 40? Or if you've never started working out, like, how do I get started? I work with both types of women where they feel like, oh, I'm too old, or, oh, exercise is not for me. Oh, I'm not interested in strength training. And I'm going to address those things in this episode and just help you to understand why it's important that you start working out, especially strength training after, regardless of what age you are. Because after the age of 30 in particular, we lose 10% of our lean muscle, and that loss increases the older every decade, the older we get. So no, it's never too late to start. It's important that you incorporate strength training in whatever your exercise regimen is. So the first thing it's going to take is a change of your mindset. A lot of people think that because they may have just started working out that they wouldn't necessarily call themselves or consider themselves athletes. But an athlete is someone that is proficient in a sport or activity even that is incorporates physical activity. So even if you don't play a sport necessarily, if you are proficient in whatever activity, physical activity, back in the day, they didn't consider dancing, dancers athletes, but now they consider them athletes. So it's physical activity that you do that you have some proficiency in. So changing your mindset to understand that you can become an athlete at any age. And the other thing that you need to change your mindset about is it's not just about building muscle and looking muscular. It is about prolonging your life, really. It's about having not just prolonging your life, but allowing you to live a better life because you will be physically fit. And it's not just about looking good. It's not just a lot about looking good. It's setting goals and having success at whatever goal that you set. So I don't know if you know that 94% of C-suite women played a sport in their lives. And then 54% of them played a sport on the collegiate level. So think about that. Think about our girls and them being involved in sports at a very early age. You learn about teamwork, you learn about resilience, you learn about facing challenges and pushing through, pushing past what your mental capacity is, pushing your body past that, because a lot of times we stop ourselves with our thinking, and our bodies can actually do more than what we think it can do. So just thinking about how these women that played a sport, how successful they are to have gotten in a position of being a sweet C-suite professional, and how they set goals and learned about resilience and fighting through challenges and learning to resolve problems and learning teamwork and learning leadership skills. All of those things come with playing a sport. It's about mindset, but consistency wins every time. Now, I want to share a story with you about a woman that I work with who started training with me when she was in her 50s, and she's still training with me. And she is a high-powered attorney. So I talked about, women in C-suite, but this particular woman is a high-powered attorney, and she continues to discover the benefits of strength training. So she gave me an example where she talked about, like, oh, well, I really love that I can bend down and get some pots or things underneath my cabinets, and I don't have to hold on to the counter to pull myself up or hold on to the floor, or none of that grunting and groaning that she used to do before she started strength training. So she continues to discover things, like, she told me not too long ago how she was in a line and some people were waiting for her, and she got out of line and she ended up being able to kind of duck up underneath the stanchion and leave and not have to, worry about falling over or anything. So just simple things like that. That's one of the things that I really, really emphasize. It's not about becoming strong and to be a bodybuilder or look a certain way. Aesthetics, yes, that's good, but it's about functional fitness. I love to train my functionality. It's like everyday living, things that you would normally do, that having the strength to do them or having lean muscle can make things a lot easier. Now, I want to bust a myth that I hear all the time about strength training or lifting weights. Women say all the time, well, I don't want to get bulky. Women, first of all, we do not have enough testosterone naturally. You heard that word, right? Naturally. We do not have enough testosterone naturally to build the kind of muscle that will make us look bulky. And the other thing is that I tell people all the time, it's like, look at me. I lift weights at least 3 to 4 times a week, at least 3 times a week. And do I look bulky and muscular? And, I wish I looked a little bit more muscular than I do, but naturally, women, naturally, we do not have enough testosterone to build that kind of bulk that you are trying to avoid looking like if you lift weights. So you don't have that to worry about. The other thing is the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services puts out like physical fitness, not requirements, but recommendations for Americans. And right now, actually, ever since I've been in the field for 15 years now, and ever since I entered the field, there has only been a 2 to 3% increase in the amount of people that exercise. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, I see people exercising, and I've talked about this previously. My algorithm always shows workout videos and, everybody exercising. So I'm thinking everybody's exercising, even though I know that everybody doesn't. But only 28% of Americans get the amount of physical activity that is recommended by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. They recommend 150 minutes of moderate exercise, and then I think it's like three days of strength training or something like that. But 150 minutes of moderate exercise, or 75 minutes of strenuous exercise a week. And only 28% of Americans are actually getting the amount of recommended physical activity that is. So with that said, that's another myth that I want to bust, is that you don't have to spend hours in the gym. You really don't. If you've never worked out before, there are people that haven't. So if you've never worked out before, I would say start with 1 to 2 days a week. But it still doesn't have to be an hour even. Even if you just do something for 10 minutes, and then over a couple of weeks you build and add 5 minutes to that, that's better than not doing anything at all. If you're listening right now and you're thinking, okay, Flo, I know I need to get moving, but I don't even know where to start, this is for you. I created a 21-day Get Active, Stay Active challenge just for women like you. It's simple, it's doable, and it's designed to help you build confidence, strength, and momentum without feeling overwhelmed. Every day, you'll get clear guidance and small, powerful steps that add up to big results. And by the end of those 21 days, you'll not only feel stronger, you'll know exactly how to keep going. So if you're ready to take that step, join me. Click the link in the description to join the waitlist. Your future self will thank you for it. Now let's get back to the episode. So whether you've never worked out before or you work out on a regular basis, joining the 21-day challenge can actually help you. Sometimes you just need a workout buddy. I know for me, I am extremely self-motivated. I will work out regardless, but it really does help when I have someone to work out with. But if I don't have anyone, I'll get it done because first of all, I really, really enjoy it. And that's the other thing. Once you start doing it, whether you have a workout buddy or a group that you work out with, it really does become enjoyable. And another example of that is I have a client that she's been training with me for about 5 or 6 years now. And she just says, if she didn't have me, she wouldn't work out on her own, even though she has free access to a gym and equipment and everything. She just says that she won't do it. So I understand that some people are in that position. But that's the other thing with her. It's like she forces herself to train, and she kind of tells herself that she likes it and has started enjoying it over time. But the one thing that she really, really started enjoying, and she's in her 70s and just started rowing with me last year. And she just talks about how exciting it is for her. And she's like, oh my God, I just never thought that I would just be so excited about doing this type of exercise. So she rows on the rowing machine, the indoor rower, the erg, once a week with me, and then she trains strength training with me 3 times a week. And she just loves the rowing. And she's like, oh my goodness, I never thought that I would be into the numbers and understanding the split times and the strokes per minute and all of these different things, and really challenging herself to get the technique right and all of that. She's just like really, really excited about it. So like I said, she's in her 70s. So you could start at any age and become proficient. She's getting really good at it. So maybe that's for you. Maybe you're doing something that you're kind of bored with it and you need some excitement and you want to change it up, that's what you need to do. Maybe try something new, try rowing. And the reason why I encourage rowing, it's not just because I'm a rowing coach and athlete, it's because when you're 40 and over and you start having knee, hip, back problems, ankles, all of those things because of bone density, that's the other thing that improves with strength training. Your bone density increases. You don't want to deal with sarcopenia or osteoporosis. You hear about older people having falls and breaking bones, and sometimes people pass away from that. And it's not because of the bone break itself, it's what happens with trying to heal from it. And a lot of that happens because people don't strength train. So when you do strength train, it does actually help with bone density. So I encourage women over 40 to learn how to row because it's a non-impact sport and it helps with building muscle. It's also very good for cardiovascular activity. So if you can't run or you get bored on the treadmill walking or biking or any of those things, try the rowing machine. Just try something different. Sometimes changing it up, maybe you row and then do a little bit of weights. But then that's the other part too, is if you don't have a rowing machine, don't have a treadmill, don't have a gym membership, or don't want to go to the gym, there are so many things that you could do at home. You do not need a lot of equipment. When I start with clients, the thing that I tell people when they want to get started and they say, "Oh, I don't like the gym or I don't have equipment or whatever." The best thing to do that you have that everybody has that they can use is their own body. There are a lot of things that you could do with body weights that will help you start building muscle and building strength. So there are a couple of exercises that you can do: squats, lunges, push-ups, hip bridges. There's several things that you can do, and then use things around your house. Use things around your house, around your office. Lifting groceries, a water bottle, lifting a chair, doing exercises in a chair, lifting a book. There are so many things that you could do. You don't need equipment. So I'm going to get rid of that excuse for you. I don't want to hear it. You can start with what you have. And that first thing is your own body weight. So this is just the beginning. I hope that you found this episode inspiring. Please remember to share, like, subscribe. Help me get to my first 1,000 subscribers by the end of October. Help me get to my first 1,000 subscribers by the end of October. So, and then also, if you want to hear from a specific athlete that you want me to interview, drop that information in the comments below and I will reach out to them. So, until next time, this is Coach Flo signing off. Remember, find your zone and elevate your flow. Peace.